can see that this year, that they're helping each other more, talking to each other more, picking each other up more. We expect excellence from you every day, every second of every practice, every second of every game. The only expectation I'm putting on them is that they come to practice every day, work their rear end off, and have a positive attitude. And then I believe that the rest of it will take care of itself.
Thanks for tuning into the Coach Haave radio show, where we get you caught up on your MSU Denver women's basketball team. I'm Eric Lansing, and the radio studio is not still ready to roll. And over the break, the entire Office of Student Media is being repainted, recarpeted, the whole shebang. But the last thing I heard is that the studio might be ready even for next week, so we'll hold our breaths and see what happens. But enough about the studio. Let's bring in the head coach of the Roadrunners. She's in her 6th year, and she is Tanya Haave. Thanks for hanging out with us, Coach Haave. How was your break?
Well, my break was great. It was nice to get a little bit of time off, and the weather cooperated relatively good, so it was all good. It's good to be back, though. Good to be back.
I know you have like that 7-day period where you're not really technically hanging out with the athletes. Are going home and they're spending time with their families. Are you worried about keeping them sharp and getting them ready, or do you just want them to forget about basketball for about a week?
Yeah, they're going to do what they're going to do. You want them to work out a little bit, and it's something that I really can't control. I do definitely want them to get away from basketball to recharge their batteries. So whatever they do is great. So, used to worry about that. Don't worry about it as much anymore. Everybody's in the same boat that we are. Give it a week off, and it's really kind of refreshing for everybody to go away and recharge their batteries.
No doubt about it. You start the new year on the road. Your first opponent was the Grizzlies of Adams State in Alamosa. Their squad was a 1-4 in conference. Yours 3-2. Now Janae Squires-Horton is a former Grizzlies. I don't know if she had any nerves, or she talked to you about it, or it was just another game for her. But what was that kind of conversation with her like?
We did talk about it. I talked about it with her briefly. I said, how does it feel to be back? A little strange. I said, I know sometimes it's hard to come back to a school where you've been. And she said that she was a little nervous, and I think you could see she had a few nerves, but we just focus on your defense, focus on rebounding, focus on whatever, and then the shot will fall. And I thought she came through pretty well. I thought she played solid all around for us.
So in that first half, it was kind of a tight battle. Your team had a 5-point lead after the first 20 minutes of play. Two things that stood out to me watching that game was just you guys were working the offensive glass really well, grabbing 8 offensive boards, scoring 10 second chance points. And I'm not sure how many. That's the positive side. Maybe the negative side, I felt you left a lot of layups there on the rim a little bit. But just give us some of your overall thoughts on that first half.
Well, you hit it right on the head, Nick.
Coach Lansing right here.
Coach Lansing, we're going to put you on the staff, ready to go.
Perfect.
But yeah, we hit the boards pretty good. We did leave a few shots out there, and so I thought just getting our rhythm back, getting back into a game mode, hadn't played for a couple weeks, so I thought that was I was pleased with the effort, but I thought we could do better. So I thought, Adams State was playing the zone, and we need to attack that zone, and we can get a lot of offensive rebounds. We can run on them. I felt like we could run on them. We were able to do that in the second half. So those are the things that we talked about at halftime that we could do better.
So you mentioned the offense in the second half, but really the defense. You held Adams State to just 7 points in that third quarter. We were talking about it before. I felt like your players were getting their hands in the passing lanes, and they just seemed like they were making them feel uncomfortable. They ended up with 26 turnovers, Adams State did. So it seemed like the defensive intensity really kind of came through in that third quarter.
Oh, definitely. And I think our defense is coming around. It's just going to be getting that consistent effort from that. But I think we had that all night. But we were using our hands, using our length, getting some turnovers, speeding them up. Those are things that we talk about, and we definitely were able to do that. So that was good to see from everybody that was in the game.
So as a coach who preaches rebounding and defense, to be able to put together a kind of a performance like that, did that make you feel good, especially with the first game after a break?
Oh, yeah. It was really nice to see us come out after a break, because I was very, very nervous about this game. This is a tough game because that team, you watch them on film, and I'm like, they're a lot better than their record. And so we needed to jump on them early, and we didn't really jump on them in the first half, but we stayed on them, and we never let up. I let up a little there at the last minute or so, but that's when you can afford to let up if you're ahead, you have a big lead. So it was a game I was nervous about going in, that if we didn't come ready, we were going to get beat. And so we were ready to play, which I was pleased with.
One of the players that stood out was Georgia Ordorf. I know she's been trying to find her offensive stroke. I know she had that big three a couple weeks ago, but she was even telling us she's trying to get back into the rhythm of things. She kind of filled up the stat sheet a little bit. In that second half, she had 9 points, grabbed 4 boards, also had 4 steals. So she was telling us, well, while I'm figuring out my offense, I'm still doing whatever I can to help the team, whether it be rebounding, going out for those steals. How has she kind of come along in her sophomore year for you?
I think she's coming around great. You had a lot of that 4-game stretch, the Regis, Shadron, where she's kind of found her stroke again, and we're still looking for her, watch film with her. Let's get her in positions where she can be successful. So we're still working on that with her. But yeah, she's responded well, rebounding wise, steals wise, and doing whatever she can, defending. So yeah, pleased with her. I mean, there's some things, still rides a little bit of consistency issues, but I think she's come along great. She's got as good of a skill set as anybody in the conference. We just working some on her mental game and her confidence, and that unshakable confidence that I would say that we need to work on with her.
Did I miss anything in this game before we go on to the next one? I think we hit the main points, but maybe there's something that I did not see, or maybe there's something that comes to mind when you think about that Adams State game.
No, I think it was. It was good, balanced. Everybody played well. Had 4 people. I think 4 or 5 people in double figures. 4 people in double figures. I thought Jonathan Whitwer played well. Everybody played solid, which was we hadn't seen that yet, so that was nice to see. So then it was just okay. Now the question was, okay, we're going to back that up.
Yeah, always tough in the RMAC. You have to play the next night. You could have a great night, but you have to go right back on the road and go down to Durango, which we'll talk about here in a second. So you and your squad earned the 71-45 win on that road. Is your 4th RMAC win. It's the team's 4th win in a row. Squires Horton, as we mentioned, the former Grizzly, had 10 points and 2 blocks. Hardigan recorded 15 points and 6 of 10 shooting, and you had 33 points off the bench, and you out-rebounded, as we talked about. How great the rebounding is coming along here, 45-32 against Adams State. And so let's get into that Fort Lewis game a little bit. In Durango, Fort Lewis is a very good team. They were coming off an 18-point loss to UCCS the night before, and we know how good UCCS is. You've played them already. We talked about the traveling partner, about UCCS, and how that favors you sometimes, but maybe in this case it motivated them not to go, to lose 2 games at home. But just give us some of your thoughts in this game. By the numbers, you thought shot 37% from the field, had some rough quarters there, just single digits in a couple of those. What was going on with the offense in this one?
I think that first and third quarter, those are the quarters where we had just 9 points, and I just don't know if we came out with the same type of intensity or a little flat, and that's that getting back to that. It's that second game, you might be flat, but you've got to find a way to get over the top, and we never really found a way to get over the top. I thought we had at the end of the second quarter, we had a 4-point lead, and then we ended up going in by 1, but then that third quarter, we were just so flat. We couldn't get anything going, and then when we couldn't get anything going, the offense was affecting how we played, how we defended, and what we need to do in those situations is we've really got to buckle down and grind those games out by defending and rebounding, and we didn't do that very well.
How do you when a team is flat? I know you could scream at them, you can switch in someone else that might be able to give you a spark plug off the bench. What do you feel helpless out there when they're feeling flat and you can't change things around?
Sometimes you feel helpless. It's just like, okay, let's keep trying something and as a coach, then it's kind of screws with their rhythm, because you're going, well, let's try different things. So it's a fine line. Try different things or stay with what you've got, and it's going to fall. We were getting some decent looks. I mean, the other area where we struggled and we couldn't press is that second free throw. We would get some free throws and then we couldn't press, and so we didn't do, a lot of weren't able to get some of that rhythm. So from that standpoint, and then the rebounding, we fell off again rebounding. So the consistency, one night we get our rebounding goals, the next night we don't even come close. And there were times that we watched film today where it's like, there's nobody going to the boards at all. I'm like, well, what in the world is this? We can't have that. It's got to be a consistent effort if we're going to win night in, night out, especially on the road. And I think we haven't learned that yet. So hopefully we keep getting these lessons. Tired of learning lessons, so we need to quit learning. I'm tired of learning lessons, and that's kind of what the message is to our group, is we don't need to be learning any more lessons. We know what we need to know.
I mean, they're still sophomores, I guess, right? So, I mean, I guess, is there still room, or is this point after going through the year, they went through a whole year last year together and learning the system. This year, is there that room for error as still a sophomore? I mean, think back just a couple years ago when you were a sophomore, how difficult it was to put it all together and learning the system. And then it's one thing to learn it and understand it, and I guess there's another part to execution and then doing it on a consistent level. I mean, I get, is that a lot for a sophomore?
It is a lot. There's no question. And so we're trying to accelerate that. And the fortunate thing for them is they're getting playing time. They're getting experiences that not a lot of girls in the RMAC get to do. Georgia Ordorf has been played almost every game since she's started as a freshman. So it's great experiences. So of course there's room to improve, and that's what we're focusing on is, hey, this is a process. Let's take what we can learn every practice, every game. So I think knowing what it is in the grind. So, last year we might have lost this game, and we probably did by 15-20. This year we're in it and we're down by 3, and really we should have won it. But then you got a team again that's got some senior leadership, and we don't have senior leadership right now, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But we're competing with these teams that have senior leadership or more experience than we do. So that's bodes well for the future, I feel like. And just staying with the process, and it's fun figuring this out to get them better every week.
I was just going to ask you about it because I think Fort Lewis women's team have 10 upperclassmen, and then you have
2.
1, 2. Oh yeah, 2. So I mean, as a coach, you can tell what a senior basketball player looks like, what a sophomore basketball player looks like.
Exactly.
And if you're executing, then it's going to be real hard for you to have to. So how do you keep that motivation in them, I guess, to know that they're playing against, I mean, I don't know how much they look at rosters. Maybe they don't look at rosters at all. Maybe you tell them. But, realize, well, Fort Lewis has 10 upperclassmen. It's going to be really hard to take down a team like that. I don't know.
No, we don't say anything about that.
Smart.
We say, I absolutely say nothing. I focused on that more last year myself, didn't let the team know. I don't even focus on that right now. I don't even care because I know what this team can do. So I'm not focusing on it. I'm not letting them focus on it. People might tell them after the game or whatever, but I don't want us to use that as a crutch, is that we can still at least be competing and challenging them to win. I mean, I still really feel like that's a game we should have won. It would have really been huge to win. Well, we didn't win it, so we'll learn from it and we'll move on. We learn. This group is doing a good job learning. You can see the improvement. People that come at the beginning of the season, they've come a month later, oh my gosh, you've improved so much. So that's all we want to do. We want to get better every day. We want to get better every day in practice, get better every week in games. And then I think if we continue doing that, the results will take care of themselves.
Leave all that senior stuff and points per game stuff to us media folks. We'll deal with that. We'll give it to the audience, but we'll keep our mouths closed when the players are nearby the scorer's table. So in this game, 63-55 was the final. Stepanovic led Metro with 15 points, 9 boards. Hardigan had 10 points and 7 boards. So what's next for the Red and Blue? They are at home this weekend. Finally excited to see them back here at 5 p.m. both nights versus Colorado Mesa, Rary Event Center, Westminster on Saturday. Friday, I believe, is Military Appreciation Night, so we'll definitely honor those who served us and continue to serve us to keep our wonderful country safe and so forth. And so you played these teams not too long ago. It's amazing that you're playing them already. And, Colorado Mesa, that's the next team. And we won't talk about Westminster since, Mesa is the goal right now. But you beat them on their home floor. First time in 4 years. I think they're going to be itching to come back and exact some revenge on your team. How much do you look at the tape from that game?
Oh, we'll look at it a lot. And then we'll look at some of the games that they've played since then, make sure they haven't done anything new. And so far, from what we've seen, they're not doing a lot new, but they're going to want to win. But the advantage we have is that we're on our home floor, and we'll just have to do that same thing. I mean, they're going to be ready they were ready for us last time. I mean, but they're going to be ready for us this time. But, you beat a team like that on their first time on their home floor, and they're kind of going, oh, maybe there's some kind of, you wonder if they might have some doubt. But knowing how they're coached and how they'll be prepared, they are going to be more than ready for us to play. So we might have to weather a little storm at the beginning, that emotional bump, but then we weather that, and then all that wears off by about the 5 minutes of the first game. But after 5 minutes in, everybody forgets about all that.
So we're super excited for the games. Come on out. It's free if you're a student. And so it's New Year's now. Do you have any New Year's resolutions that you have for you in terms of maybe wanting to see something out of this basketball team? I know every day is getting better. We asked Coach Clark, and he said to be patient. And we know Coach Clark is not the most patient man in the city of Denver, or even in the country for that matter. But what are some of you want to see, maybe some specific things you want to see from your team going forward?
Well, consistency. See, on the road, we're getting a little more consistent at home. Consistency on the road, consistency in practice, but consistency and just have them maturing a little bit, getting them more mature. And it does take patience. And any coach, you're gonna want it faster. Someone said, "Well, the freshmen played like freshmen." I'm going, they can't play like freshmen right now. But it is what it is. But yeah, that would be the biggest thing from this group is consistency.
Mine's to curse less. I don't think I curse that much, but I'm trying to curse less.
You're trying to curse?
I don't curse.
Well, one of my other ones is to, I'd like to do more community service personally. That's my goal.
That's a good goal.
That is mine this year.
Maybe to do the radio show outside more. It's beautiful out here.
We need to come
like
outside
50 degrees out here.
50 degrees, blue sky, not a few clouds over there by the mountains, but it's beautiful.
So we better run and hide. But we appreciate you helping us out here. We'll put this up on the web, and hopefully we'll have the studio up. If not, then we'll work something together with the interviews that we got and with the players. We'll figure something out. So remember to check out roadrunnersathletics.com for all your women's basketball needs. And Coach, great luck this weekend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. We're definitely out here on the Coach Haave Show. We'll see you next time.